Yeah, go ahead and switch over to immigration and the impact there on U.S. businesses.
Yeah. So whether the goals of the administration or at least right how Trump was on the campaign trail remains to be seen if that actually gets implemented. I think the initial goal was, it sounds terrible, but 1,000 illegal immigrants a day would be deported.
Yeah.
Um, Ultimately ramping up to a million. There's some estimates ranging between 12 and 25 million illegal immigrants in this country. Now, you think in your own community, some of these immigrants, yes, they came over the border illegally, but they fill very valuable jobs that some Americans don't want. And you start thinking across different industries, you generally find them in agriculture or hospitality and leisure if you think hotel properties. You also tend to find them in home building or construction, at a time when housing is near its most or its least affordable in decades, just given the
Yeah.
cost of money, but also the cost of imported materials that we just talked about with tariffs, but also then the labor then to put a house to build a house or to build a
Mhm.
commercial building. So you're starting to see business owners plan for this. Obviously, you want to get ahead of it if you can. Of course, you obviously would like to hire or employ legal immigrants. And like you might try to be able to get around some of this. If you've been in the country a decade, 2 decades, there might be some paths to citizenship there. However, there's certainly a risk that your labor force could get upended. And being a business owner, maybe you don't even know, or there, those documents were forged and you have illegal immigrants working for you, and you just don't even know it. So you might get caught up in this immigration control and start to see some upward pressure on labor. But ultimately, if you push illegal immigrants out who are taking over those valuable jobs in the United States, is now you have to hire somebody who's in the United States, who's here legally, but they might cost more, right?
Yeah.
They might require a wage that's 25, 50% higher than what you're paying an illegal immigrant. So you talked about inflation here. It's ultimately if you're hiring another person, right, to fill that job, you could ultimately be paying more for your to produce your product or service, which ultimately likely means prices could get passed on to the end customer.
Yeah.
So another inflationary impulse to be mindful of there. I guess it just depends on how quickly these immigration policies get implemented.
And from what I'm reading, I don't watch any TV news media source. So it's all what I am reading. It sounds like United States trade schools, trade programs are continuing to be in decline. So yes, these immigrants are fulfilling roles that we absolutely need in the United States. We have our necessities, we've got our pleasantries, and these immigrants are very vital to getting that work done. Then there's the moral conundrum